In early February 2026, armed extremists stormed the mainly Muslim villages of Waro and nearby Nuku in Kwara State, north-central Nigeria, after locals refused to accept their hardline version of Sharia law. Over several hours, the attackers went from house to house, booting residents, burning homes, and taking possession of women and children, turning it into one of Nigeria's deadliest recent attacks. Estimates of the death toll range from at least 162 to more than 170 people, with some reports suggesting the number later rose above 200 as more bodies were discovered. Nigerian officials and local witnesses say militants were behind the massacre, and President Bola Tinubu responded by deploying an army battalion and additional security forces to the area. Like, what the hell is going on? 170 innocent people have been killed in Kwara State, Nigeria, and it is not even a trending topic. Of course not. If it can be brushed under the carpet, then brushed under the carpet it will go. These are human beings, not animals, and they are being brutally slaughtered like their lives mean nothing to the world. Each and every individual has a mum, a dad, and probably a brother and sister. It is absolutely disgusting. Nigeria is in a state of emergency and is in the midst of putting foreign military boots on the ground. But what is the bigger picture? What is the real reason foreign military forces are trying to get involved? Because clearly it is not to benefit the Nigerian people. It will be to benefit outside foreign forces somehow. You see, it is all about control. Africa has always been cut up and divided by outside foreign forces. But I must ask this question again. Why is it that no one cares about what happened to the 170 innocent human beings who have been brutally murdered? Religious extremists try to use religion to justify their murderous, blood-soaked, hate-filled rampage on their own community, and then they use religion to justify these horrendous acts. Imagine how those people felt in their last moments, looking around and seeing everybody randomly being slaughtered. Imagine how scary that must have been, being covered in blood, being covered in human guts, with your loved one's brain fragments splattered all over the room in front of you. Imagine being covered in your mother's and father's blood and brain fragments. It is unimaginable. Maybe unimaginable to us, but to the Nigerian people, this is their sad daily life. I know that sounds quite graphic, but just think about you and your loved ones being in that situation, lovingly clinging to each other until their time comes to be brutally slaughtered like some animal in front of their family. It is unexplainable in words, the brutality, the lack of empathy, and the total absence of any feeling of right and wrong. It's like these evil terrorists are stuck in some sort of psychotic trance where all they know how to do is kill and horrifically terrorize people who do not choose to join their religion. Why would anyone in their right mind want to massacre and maim innocent people without sparing them any feeling of empathy? It's like the more these groups kill, the more fear they instill in local villages, and the more violent and bolder they become with their disgusting actions. The unfortunate Nigerian people are suffering what feels like a mass genocide of Christians. Convert or die are the only two options offered by Islamic militants. Christian communities in villages in Nigeria are being held hostage by these militants. Villagers are told, convert or die, and whoever chooses not to convert is promptly and viciously slaughtered. Whilst villagers slept, terrorists invaded the villages and started executing people at random. The blood-hungry terrorists appeared from the bushes, and from that moment, the Nigerian villages were in a state of panic and all-out emergency. The terrorists started demanding that all the men come outside with their hands above their heads. When the men from the villages came out of their shanty shacks, they were eliminated on the spot. At first, they said they were there to kill only the fighting-age men, but then a commander who held considerable weight among the terrorists changed his mind and said, "Forget it, execute everyone who moves." Can you imagine the fear that must have permeated the villages when the commander gave the order, "Kill everyone that moves"? It is indescribable in words. The villagers must have been frozen in fear. The vicious terrorists were dragging villagers out of their shacks, putting their AK-47s to the back of the innocent victims' heads, then boom, boom, a sudden double tap of the trigger, and the poor villager is dead. Another family is destroyed, another mother with a broken heart, another wife without a husband to provide and protect, and another boy or girl growing up without a parent.
It is absolutely disgusting. It has hardly been reported on in the worldwide news. That's why I've made sure to write a short article on this tragedy, to keep the memory of the executed innocents alive. It is far too early to talk about suspects and convictions, but I just hope the Nigerian authorities find out who is exactly responsible and hold them accountable for their deplorable actions. This has been a sad topic, but it is a story that had to be told. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. If you could please subscribe and hit the notification bell, it would mean a lot to me and it would help our channel grow. And it's free to subscribe after all. Thank you.